Look at this, we've found Inkanyeni, and I think it's her, but literally I saw tracks on the road and I said, damn, these are really fresh leopard tracks. And then I said, I want to go back to where we've just come from, and we turned around and there she was. She's busy stalking something at the moment. There's quite a few steenbok that we saw a little bit earlier. How's that, Vim? Oh, it looks like she stopped stalking. She's laid down. I'm just going to stay here to see what she does. Oh, there we go. I've missed this leopard. I haven't seen it in so long. She's been spending a lot of time in the Kruger. Just need to call it in on the game drive. Stations 1 Sati Ingwe on Kruger boundary CP, about 150 meters to the north of Mala Mala boundary. Now, there were some steenbok we saw a little bit earlier, but they were quite far away from here. And it doesn't look like she's... What is she? She is... Andrew, we've located her. Can you just let the guys in the east know? I called it in, but I don't know if they're copying me. On the Kruger boundary, about 100 meters to the north of Mala Mala boundary. Okay, it doesn't look like she's stalking now. Let me just see if we can find a little gap to get in there. Don't you love it when a plan comes together? And Liam and I spoke about this. This is a leopard we have not seen in many a moon. And I got that report that her cubs were on Mala Mala. And we've just been working around this area. We haven't moved very fast since we've arrived on Cheetah Plains. And literally, we got just down there and I looked at these tracks on the road and I said, Liam, these are really fresh tracks. And we turned around, so we must have actually driven past her. We missed her on the way up. But all's well that ends well. Okay, so fortunately, it's not too thick an area, so we're just going to get around to the other side of her so we can have a look at that beautiful face. And here we go. There she is. What an exquisite creature. I think it's quite tough at the moment. We've seen quite a few lovely female leopards, but in terms of pure beauty, I think she's my favorite that we see on Safari Live. That click click is just me getting a photograph. And I encourage you guys to do the same with screenshots. And remember to share all your screenshots with us by using the hashtag Safari Live or on Twitter, or popping them on our Facebook page, which is Safari Live. There we go. An exquisite female leopard. She's the dominant female leopard on Cheetah Plains in Coral and the southern part of Torchwood, but the majority of her territory lies in the Kruger National Park. Now, her cubs were seen in Mala Mala and in that big open area this morning, so she's probably making her way back towards them. What we got to hope is that she's made a kill on cheetah plains and she's going to take the cubs back there. But it does look like she's hunting. But you must remember, all these big cats are opportunists. So even if she has made a kill and something happened to stumble across her path, she would definitely take advantage of that. See how she's just listening? Oh, come on, madam, step out into the golden light for us. Now you can see her coat's a little bit darker than Karula. Right, while she's snoozing, let's go back to Bushwalk, see what they've got. So she hasn't moved, and I was just saying to VM when we were off air there, don't you love it when a good plan comes together? And we set out with a specific purpose of trying to find her on this sunset safari, and quite often those sort of plans can backfire, but fortunately today our luck has held true. So it's more than likely that she's making her way back towards her cubs that are unfortunately outside of our traverse area. But I said, we can only hope that she's got a kill, that she's going to fetch them. Tasha Michelle is wondering, do I know how old Inkanyeni is? If I remember correctly, she's about 10, maybe 11. And she is a very, very tired cat. She's falling over at the moment. But she is a very beautiful leopard. We were lucky enough to catch her on the move. I think the reason we missed her initially is that she was playing avoidance with a herd of zebra. Half dozing, she's still listening very intently to everything around. Now, if she does, there is a strong possibility she might cross our southern boundary into Mala Mala. If she does do that, I definitely know what our plan will be, is that we're going to backtrack her. So to see if she does possibly have a kill, where they have been hiding. Nikki says when she opens her eyes, it looks like she has two eyelids and the one opens in the wrong direction. Nikki, I'm not sure what you're saying. We'll have to wait and have a look when she does it again, but I didn't notice anything too peculiar there. Of course, her eyes are very tightly shut at the moment. So even though it looks like she is absolutely fast asleep, she is still very much alert. Her ears are still functioning. And if any sort of slightly strange or untoward sound would cause her to open those eyes in an absolute flash. Iggy says, "Oh my word, this leopard is a stunning creature." She is indeed. That's why I know I'm probably going to get into trouble with this, but I think she's the prettiest leopard within our traverse area. And Iggy would also like to know, what does Inkanyeni mean? If I remember correctly, it means marula tree. She does have a tendency to like climbing marula trees. I'm pretty sure, yes, if I remember correctly, Inkanyeni is marula tree, not to be confused with Inkaya, which is a knobthorn tree. Oh, back to snooze. I'm going to reposition slightly. Now, she's got a 4-4 spot pattern, and what I'm referring to is the last line of spots above her whiskers, and that is one of the best ways to ID leopards. Although we are lucky enough to spend so much time with the leopards, quite often we can ID them just from having a quick look. And she is a very relaxed female. There we go. Look at that. So she's quite a decent-sized female for the Sabi Sands, and she's the daughter of the Beacon female, which apparently was the great grand dam or the queen of Buffalo's Hook originally. And I'm trying to see, she doesn't look like she's starving. Oh, I hope you guys got that. I think I missed it. I think I was a bit second too slow. She looks like she is actually quite hungry, so maybe she hasn't made a kill yet. Now, as we're a bit closer to her now, you can see one of the things that where leopards show their age is on their ears. So you start seeing tatters on her ears. Her ears are actually incredibly fluffy and good looking for a leopard of her age, but there are little nicks and tears in them. And the older a cat gets, generally, it doesn't only have to be leopards, but lions as well, the more wear they start to show in their ears. But she is a remarkably good looking leopard with very little rips and tears in her ears for a leopard of her age. There we go, there. There's incredible paws. All that armory is sheathed. Of course, like your domestic house cat at home, she's got retractable claws. There you go, you can see that very prominent 4 spots above the last line of whiskers. So she's 4-4 on both sides, right and left. There you go. Well, she's being very kind, showing us the other 4. And back to sleep. So now we're going to sit here to see what she gets up to. While we do that, let's go across to James, who's got some other cubs. She spotted something we can't see, and she's now stalking right next to us. I mean, she was literally 2 foot from the car. Now, I'm trying to stare into the bush to see what she's possibly seeing. As I said, there were a few steenbok around here earlier. But something really caught her attention. Oh, I just love watching the big cats and how they can move. I mean, she's not stepping on a leaf. patience of these cats is incredible. I can't see a stambok. Can you, Vian? Well, there's definitely something she can see that we can't. But just judging about how tall she's walking, it could be still quite far away. As she gets closer, she'll get closer to the ground. Still can't see what she's looking at. Okay, she's far enough away from us that I can just move the car slightly. So we're going to keep our distance from her. We don't want to disturb what's going on. So whatever she's seen is in this area here. See, she's getting lower to the ground now. Now, hopefully it's... She's using, there's a dead marula in front of her that she's using as cover. I still can't see what she's stalking. Now, in this area earlier, there were warthogs, stambok, and impala. Oh, there we go. The drongos are alarming at her. Yes, see, there we go. Just heard those fork-tailed drongos. Teew, 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 teew. And that was it. She's just sort of gone to sleep. Okay, well, let's try to get a bit closer again. So whatever she was stalking, with the drongo's alarm calling at her, obviously alerted it, and it's moved off. Okay, so we're going to get back into a spot where we can get a nice visual of her. While we do that, Steph is still playing. But she was lying down flat, and then she shot off like a rocket. So you see that intense focus, and there from behind you can see there are a few nicks and tears in her ear. Such a beautiful outline. We're still not sure what she's been stalking. We haven't been able to see it. But in this area, it's most likely to be a steenbok or a duiker. I can hear a wildebeest snorting in the distance, but I don't think it's snorting at her. I just think he was snorting for the joy of being a wildebeest. Of course, we're quite close to Gnorman's area. Okay, she's going to lie down again, so we're going to move around to the front of her. Still just double checking to see if I can see what she's so interested in. And away through here, thick there. Katja is saying, why do birds alarm call? Leopards don't hunt them. She can't see any evolutionary advantage in it. Well, Kacha, they do. And especially when they're cubs, they hunt a lot of birds. And I don't know if you remember watching young Sindile. He was always up a tree trying to catch a bird. But you must remember that it's an evolutionary reaction to the shape of a cat, whether it be a big cat or a small cat. So serval and caracal and African wildcat hunt birds, and they have a similar shape to lion and leopard. That is why they will alarm call at a big cat like this that's unlikely to go for a small fork-tailed drongo. But an African wildcat would definitely try grab a drongo. Oh, look at that. She's looking right at us. Mark is wondering, how much time would a leopard spend stalking before giving up? Well, Mark, it completely depends. I've seen leopards stalk for 3.5 hours before giving up, and I've seen leopards stalk for 10 minutes before giving up. I mean, it completely depends on the prey and the area that they're stalking in. Where are you off to, madam? See if she comes out behind us before we move, or if she's going to pop her head up on top of that termite mound. See, she's still stalking. As I said, we have no idea what it is. Oh, look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous in the golden light? I'm jealous. You guys can get screenshots. I can't take photographs through VM. Oh, isn't that just too beautiful? She's got very fluffy ears. Almost looks like she's stalking VM. Of course she isn't. Don't worry about that. But she's come around the back of the termite mound. She's still focused on something, as I said. Unfortunately, I don't know what it is yet. You can see how close she is to us. Wow. This is incredibly special. This is definitely the most amazing sighting I've ever had with this female leopard. Now she almost seems to have lost a bit of focus. Almost looked like she might begin to chuff, call the cubs. Okay, well, we're going to keep... Oh, no, she's back in stalk mode. No, she's going to lie down. So while she lies down, let's go back to James and the wonderful Inkahumas. She's on the stalk again. She's literally been lying flat till a few seconds ago. Look at that, isn't that just beautiful? Now, one unfortunate thing is she is heading straight towards our southern boundary, and we're not far from it. Can you see her, VM? Okay, I'm going to try and get around. Hi, Gracie, the birthday girl. Looks like all the animals have been out and about for you today, Gracie. Gracie would like to know if I've seen this leopard's babies. I have, Gracie. We've seen them, I think, only once on one of the early morning sunrise safaris. But then I've seen them another time as well. Oh, hold on, Vim. Okay, so here, unfortunately, is our southern boundary. Now, we know her babies are somewhere past this road. But hopefully, she's still going to stalk where we can see her. She might come down the road next to us to use the big termite mound. Oh, she's just too pretty. And she seems to like the car as well. Keeps coming right next to us. So, on a positive note, whatever she's stalking looks to be inside cheetah plains. Look at that wonderful tail. She's got a very fluffy tip to her tail. And Gracie, that's for her babies to follow her so they can see it when she's walking through the bush. Ken in Oklahoma is wondering, when will she stop hiding her cubs? Well, Ken, when her cubs leave her, pretty much. So once they become independent adults. Till then, she will leave them in what she considers a safe place. The older they get, the less choosy they are with areas that they hide their cubs. The more just sort of leave them and scold them when they try to follow them. This is definitely one of the nicest leopard sightings I've had in a while. Perfect golden light, beautiful adult female. Now she's looking down towards the big open areas, and those steenbok were earlier on the edge of those open areas. She spotted something else we can't see. In my binoculars, let me look down the road. She's now looking east. What could be there? I see some hornbills. Some starlings. Oh, she's looking back the other way. Now, look at that. You can see those beautifully shaped rosettes. The biggest ones being towards the center of her back. Yeah, I'm just going to roll backwards slightly. So Tasha Michelle would like to know, do we see anything at all out there that she might be hunting? Well, the only thing we saw in this area, but earlier, before we found her, there were a few steenbok around. How's that, Finn? You happy with that? Perfect. Beautiful. We're getting a bit of a golden light on her face. I hope you guys are getting some incredible screenshots. I'm going to snap a picture. Don't even need a big zoom lens. She's so close to us. she goes. She's going the wrong way. Hello, pretty girl. She's heading into Mala Mala, and that's where her cubs were. But there's a very good chance she's going to be back across this boundary by tomorrow. We're going to stay with her as long as we can. Now, Roger's wondering, is she primarily looking, hearing, or smelling? I would say for leopards, it's sight and hearing probably are the two more dominant when it comes to hunting. Oh, she's going to climb right to the top of that massive termite mound. Look how she's using her body. She's draping it across. So if there is anything on the other side, it's not going to spot her. Wow. Isn't that special? It looks like she might be settling there. I'm just going to move it a little bit, see if we can get another view. So she's using that massive termite mound as a nice vantage point to look for potential prey. And there are quite a few. I'm just trying to find a clear gap for you there, ma'am. Oh, I think this is going to be some nice screenshots. Look at that. You can see how big that termite mound is. So I think she saw a steenbok when she made that initial charge, and I think it might have run into that area. So we're going to sit here and just watch her from a distance. Unfortunately, she has crossed into Mala Mala. While we do that, let's go see how Steph's faring on foot. VM and I are not moving. Oh, yeah. What have you spotted, madam? She's looking at the moment. I think that's what maybe she's listening to and looking at. Obviously doesn't want to go home to the cubs without any food. And definitely looking at the zebra. Well, I almost forgot we had a bird quiz on the go. We've got so distracted by this gorgeous female leopard. Now, James Richard is correct on both counts. It is the African pipit and a wood sandpiper. Now, Elaine, you were very close with the green sandpiper. So there's the green sandpiper, but the giveaway was the legs. The wood sandpiper with the yellowish, dull yellow legs. That was the giveaway. Anyway, oh, she's up. Enough of birds. She's sat up. Oh, isn't that just too pretty? I can't help but take another picture. Come on, think about moving back to Cheetah Plains. Now, we want a Stenbok to appear behind us somewhere. One of the reasons we see so little of her is due to the fact a large amount of her territory falls within the Kruger National Park. Other than that, she traverses about half of Cheetah Plains. Tundi has the other half. And then most of Nkoro. And then into that southeastern corner of Torchwood. But then a lot of her territory is to the east in the Kruger. So I'm always very excited when we catch up with this exquisite leopard. Now, if we come out, you see how big this massive termite mound is. And William in Oregon is asking, how long does it take for a termite mound to get that big? Well, William, there's quite a lot of different... it's quite a heavy discussion point, but I've heard they can take up to 800 years to get that big, which would mean there was... it wouldn't be in one termite colony's lifetime, it would be multiple termite colonies, or multiple queens. Same colony, multiple queens. I'm just adjusting for the light as it disappears there, so we do apologize about that. Heads up, ears are up. Now her cubs can't be too far from here. But while we wait patiently with the Queen of the East, let's go to James, who's got the African sun disappearing over the western horizon. So she still is sitting atop that massive termite mound, listening, looking to the south, which makes me a little sad. I wish she was looking to the north or to the west. Isn't this just the most serene setting? We come out wide as the sun's dipped below. We're looking at this female leopard looking over her domain. And I mean, you can see how absolutely massive that termite mound is. It is a beast. Definitely one of the tallest ones around. Oh, I wonder. Well, I hope on tomorrow's sunrise safari she brings those two cubs we've only seen once on the live drives. back onto cheetah plains. So they're somewhere around this area. Now she's looking down towards a bigger open area behind. There is a little drainage system in the middle. And that's where the cubs could be. You can see some nice big jackalberries in it. Come on, come back, come back. Stenboks live on cheetah plains, not on Mala Mala. Or you're going to give us one last glance before breaking our hearts. Now, if any of you are new, you are looking at a female leopard live in the middle of the African bush. And if you're wondering about it, pop me a question. questions@wildearth.tv on email, or use the hashtag SafariLive on Twitter. Now you can see through to the open area beyond there. It's just stunning with the winter colors. Now, are there any animals on the open area? Doesn't look like it just yet. She's looking back to the west. Was looking back to the west. That is a beautiful shot. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the composition, but that view really appeals to me. That wonderful orange of the bush willows, looking through to that large brown ivory without any leaves in the distance. Nice composition. It works for him. It really does. Can still hear the zebra moving through the bush. I'm going to almost just make out some stripes. Could make out some stripes. They disappeared in there somewhere. There we go. When I literally barely a stripe visible. Hi, Mimi. Mimi is 15 years old. Mimi would like to know, will leopards kill zebras? Very, very unusual, Mimi. Zebra is too big for a leopard, definitely too big for a female. Oh, she's coming down. Is she coming back towards us, Vim? Fingers crossed. Could we be that lucky? Vim, we're that lucky. I was convinced she was going to go south. Maybe I shouldn't get too excited yet. She might go back to the Kruger. Sorry, Mimi, I got distracted there. Zebras are a bit too big unless there's a baby zebra. And even then, for a female leopard, a baby zebra is even sometimes a bit big. And zebras can be very aggressive, and they'll defend their babies against predators, specifically small predators. There's only one leopard I know of used to kill baby zebras regularly. And he was probably double or triple, no, not triple, double the size of what she is. Now she's walking towards where those zebras are. I'm going to try it. She's not hunting. You can see she's not going into that stalk mode. But we might get an awesome screenshot of stripes and spots. She's still walking. She's standing still. I've lost sight of her. She's still on the road? Okay. I'm just going to move so we get the possibility of stripes and spots. That would be a good one. We can just see her tail. Here she comes. I see she's gone off into the bush slightly to avoid the zebra from spotting her. And she's coming straight back to Cheetah Plains. I said, oh, I shouldn't get too excited. She might go into Kruger. Oh, there we go. Zebras have spotted her. You hear that snort? There still is the possibility of the stripe in the spot. Then if we come out quickly, there we go. Stripes and spots. Hello, lady. Oops, sorry, I was trying to get my head out of the way. No, don't go that way. She's heading east, and the majority of her territory is in the Kruger Park. We'll stay with her as long as we can. So not heading back to pick up the kids just yet. She's got no dinner for them. As I said, we're going to stick with her as long as possible, but you can see she's heading towards the boundary. But if she walks along the boundary, we can stay parallel to her. But looks like she's got other plans. There we go. Moving into the mixed woodland of the Kruger National Park. Now, with the cubs still on around that open area to the south, there's a very good chance she might be in this area again in the next day or so. But as she melts into the African bushveld and to an area, unfortunately, we cannot follow. Let's go see how James is faring on Djuma.